So I'm recording this intro after I've already recorded this episode because I filmed this episode probably about a week ago, and then I haven't been able to get to editing it. I've had a whole bunch of stuff going on. I played in a golf tournament this past week, and then I've just had a whole bunch of other life stuff going on. So I haven't really gotten to actually recording, or to editing this episode rather. But between me recording this episode and actually putting it out there for you guys to see, I actually had a video with George Bryan of the Bryan Bros account, and I'll talk about it a little bit in the video too. And this was kind of before he released it, but yeah, I went and played with him, and it was super awesome. It was a fun day out on the course with George. I've known George for a while, and he pointed a lot of you guys in the direction of my channel. And for any of you who've been watching for a little bit, know that I've got quite a few new subscribers from George's video. It was super nice of him to kind of link my video and talk about my channel a little bit. This has kind of been my pet project, so I really didn't have any, I wasn't really going to talk about it during that video, but it ended up coming out. Some of the people in the Twitch live stream that we did recognized me. So it just turned out that a bunch of people got tuned onto the channel. So if you're here from that, thank you so much. And if you haven't seen George's video, if you're one of the people who was watching before this, make sure you go check that video out. You'll get to see George playing, and I'll be playing as well, and you'll get to see our match, and it was pretty fun. So I wanted to put that in before the video. Big thanks to George for linking my channel, and thank you to everybody who's kind of subscribed to the channel in the last couple days. It's been fun to see a whole bunch of new faces watching my videos. So yeah, we're just gonna keep trucking with this episode. So hope you enjoy, and yeah, let me know what you think. Welcome everyone to episode 13 of Pro Player Plays PGA Tour 2K21. First off, I'm going to apologize for the sound. It might be a little different. I'm actually recording this in a hotel room right now. I'm playing in a golf tournament down here in Statesboro, Georgia. And yeah, I figured I'd record one here. It's kind of a fun thing to do when you're done with the day and you can kind of relax and just kind of build in the designer. So yeah, just apologize if the audio is a little funky or if it sounds a little off. That's the reason why. The other thing I wanted to get out of the way before we get started here is the other day I actually played a match against George Bryan of the Bryan Bros YouTube channel. And funny enough, I had no plans of mentioning that I had been doing this to George, doing this YouTube channel that is. And I was going to kind of, I didn't want to mention it. It was just kind of like, I was there to hang out with George. I've known George for a long time. Him and Wesley used to come out to our facility at Augusta University, and I'd practice with them a bunch. And he wanted to shoot like a YouTube video at my home course in Augusta. And so I was like, yeah, sure, come on out. It'll be fun. I didn't have any plans of mentioning the YouTube channel I'd started here and kind of the course designing. And then we were doing a live stream during the front nine, and he was live streaming, and a few of the guys in the chat actually recognized me from this channel, which I thought was hilarious. That was where I got recognized from, was this YouTube design channel. And I made a Reddit post, and somebody had noticed that I had made that Reddit post, and then noticed me on the course and was like, "Is this the Brock Everett from the YouTube design series?" And I was like, yeah, it is. And it was pretty funny. So thanks for all you guys who were there and watching George Bryan and Bryan Bros account, because that was pretty fun. It was a fun day. Let's hop right into what we're going to do today, because today we are going to focus on hole number 4, which right now is a tee box and unplanted waste bunker, and then absolutely nothing. And what we're going to do today is we are going to turn this into the bare bones of what is going to be a drivable par 4. And I kind of waffle back and forth between drivable or just short, like a 360, 370 yard tee shot. And I decided that I wanted to do a drivable one. I think a drivable hole, it's kind of a quirky start with 1 and 3, and I don't want all the holes to be quirky. I want there to be some just challenging holes that are pretty wide open and pretty straightforward. But I think this has a really unique opportunity to be a very cool drivable par 4 up this hill over a big waste bunker right in this area, with a green that's kind of sloping towards the ocean this way. And if you hit it over the green, you'll have a really difficult chip towards the green that's sloping away from you. So I want to give the player lots of options. They can go for it and try and get it onto the green that's going to be somewhere in this area right here. And then they can also play it out this way and leave themselves a pretty easy wedge in. and maybe to some of the pins on the green that I'm thinking of, this would probably be the better play, is to play it out to the side. But I just want to give the player some options, and I think it'd be a good hole to have a drivable par 4. So that's the goal for today. Let's go in, and I'm going to kind of place some of the bigger things like the green and kind of where I want these waste bunkers to go. And then, yeah, I'm just going to place those down, and then I'll bring you guys back in kind of once I get that all done. So let's hop in and let's get this par 4 rocking and rolling. We've got the really general bare bones of this hole complete, and you can see this is kind of what we're going for here. We're really looking for a visually imposing tee shot with that bunker right in the face of the player that's kind of guarding the front edge of this green. So you've definitely got to cover it this 273 to 75 to get it up onto the green. It's not a very long carry, but it is uphill, so it probably plays another 8 yards longer, so 280 about, to carry to this front part of the green. And yeah, I think this is a good start to it. This green up here is going to be crazy. That's the plan for it. Because it's a drivable par 4, you're kind of at liberty to make the green very undulating, have these little pockets in here. I'm envisioning a green that kind of just bowls everything in, and then I really want this backside to drop off. It's a little too high right now because I want it to be, the green is in here, and then you get it all falling off back here, and you've got this chip that goes up and over a slope and then back down, and it's rolling away from you the whole way down. And that's kind of the goal of what we're looking for with this green. But we've got a lot of work to do before we get there, because we definitely want to get this fairway put in as well. The fairway is just going to slope all the way around this bunker here, and I'm thinking about adding a bunker up in here just for framing's sake, but I don't know how necessary it is. Nobody's going to be hitting driver on this line, but it's good to just have that kind of visual framing, and then we'll have the tree line on the back side of this here. So tree line will go along there, fairway will come up and through here, and then we're just going to sculpt some of these edges of this bunker. So we've just got a lot of general cleanup to do here. One other thing I should mention is that off this tee, the way we're going to prevent people from just blasting it up this right side is we're going to have some trees kind of planted through this area, and we're going to have a couple of big pine trees right on this right edge of the green to really make it so that you've got to, if you're going to go for it, that you've got to go ahead and you've got to play it left of that. You can't really blast it up into this area, but then it'll also protect from kind of aiming up that right side. So that's what we're going to go through here and do now. We're just going to do a whole bunch of general kind of sculpting things, and we're going to get this hole looking a lot more completed, but we're pretty far along as it is already. I kind of like where we're at, and we're just going to keep going along with it. So let's do it. A lot of the micro sculpting work has been kind of done up by this green now, and you can kind of see, hopefully you can see the idea that I've had for this green, where if you hit the green, it's going to be very easy to get have a good look at eagle, but if you don't hit the green, like you get a pin down in here, it's very difficult to get up and down from back here, and you kind of bring some of this long stuff into play, and or this bunker rather into play, and I think that is kind of the strategy we're going for here. I kind of like having a generous area back here just so that you've got an area that if you do hit it long, you've still got fairway and you can hit some kinds of shots, but in general, I'm pretty happy with how that is starting to come together. It's kind of the sculpting that I'm looking for. I put this bunker in just for some framing for the hole, because that's going to be kind of where the cart path goes. But I think the next thing that I'm going to do actually is I want to place some of this tree line down, because once I get this tree line down, it's going to frame the hole really nicely, and it's going to be what's there anyway. So I figure I might as well plant it while I'm here. I don't think I'm going to do too much more sculpting around the edge of this hole. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into this tree line. Let's start getting this hole to look a little bit more realistic. Ooh, baby, this hole is coming together really nicely. I am really happy with how it's already turning out. I think we've made a ton of progress already today, and we haven't even gotten into the nitty-gritty of planting some of these areas. And yeah, it's kind of funny. When I play golf, one of the things I like to do is I like to just design holes in my head. Like, I'll go through and I'll think about how would I want a hole that kind of looks that I knew that I had this amount of area for hole number 4. And so I was just like, how is this going to play out? And what do I want this hole to look like? And I'll just sit there in the middle of the round when I'm not playing, not focusing on golf or whatever, just kind of waiting for the other players to play. And I'll just think about this kind of stuff. And it's kind of funny. This is exactly how I wanted this hole to turn out. And it's already getting pretty close to where I kind of had it envisioned with the bare bones side of it, at least. We've obviously got a ton of planting to do. It's really rough around the edges at this moment. But like, the general idea of the hole, having this big imposing bunker right in front of the green, kind of blocking the sights of where you'd be landing driver if you were to go for it. And then just having a pretty easy layup out here. If you didn't really want to go for the green, you could play it out to this side. Like, I love the way that this hole is turning out, and I think it's going to be really, really stunning once we get some of this planting in. But as it is right now, I want to build some of these tee boxes, because I think I want the shortest tee box to go kind of right in that area, and then a couple more tee boxes here, and then just finish off this waste bunker area right through there. I don't know exactly where these tee boxes are going. I'm going to kind of fiddle around with it in this area, and then kind of the ladies box up in here. Once we do that, man, I think I'm just going to close off this side will be the final thing that I'm going to do. But let me quickly go in and let me build up these tee boxes right here, and then kind of onto this little island right there as well, and just get that ready for a tee box. So yeah, let's do it. tee boxes are all done. Everything's looking good up here. I had to clean up a few of these edges in here. I still have plenty of work to do along this side, but I don't really want to concern myself with that for the moment. I think the thing that I want to work on now is just kind of this tree line up the right side. I really want to get this hole completely framed before we finish today's episode. And the big key for that, I think, is going to be this right tree line. The one thing that I know I'm going to have to be very cognizant of as I go through here is that the trees that I would place on this side are going to cast a very long shadow over this bunker. So I need to be very careful about where I let those shadows run, because I do want this bunker to be well lit, definitely up by the green. So I'm probably going to have to not put as many trees kind of in this area, and get more of the trees that are going to define this line kind of right along in there, so that it's covering up this part of the bunker, and the shadows aren't covering up the part of the bunker that I really want the players to be able to see well. So yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. I'll let you guys back in once we get kind of get this tree line done, and hopefully I don't have too many issues with these shadows, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, let's get this thing framed up. Tree line is in, and we are looking pretty good here. Honestly, I don't know what other changes I'm going to make outside of a little nitpicky things here and there in the next episode when I'm starting to plant it. But as it is right now, I'm pretty happy with where we're at. The green's going to use a little bit of work. This isn't exactly how I want it, but I want to try and play this hole. I want to see how it's going to look, or how it's going to play when I hit driver off of this tee. Especially with some of these backstops up here. I wanted those trees up the right to really kind of block out that right side, and I think it's doing a good job of that. I don't think that you are going to be able to cover it on this line and get over into there, so I think that's a good thing. All right, let's try and hit a good driver here. I'm not very good at this. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and so this just leaves you a really awkward 44-yard shot. Let me go through and let me try to hit a good drive. This might be a hilarious montage if I can't get a good one, but I want to get a perfect and see one that lands on the green and see how it reacts once it's up there. There it is. Alright, let's see what happens here. I'm hoping that it catches this little backstop and kind of... oh boy. Okay. Well, for now, we're gonna leave it for now. I don't know that that's how I want to leave it, but as it is, we're just gonna leave it at that. Let's see if I can get this up and down. Oops. Man, I am so bad at this game. I apologize to everybody watching this. Oh, that is terrible. But, yeah, that's generally how I wanted to play. I might even lower that section of the green just a bit more, just so that when you land it here, it gets up, uses the slope, and comes back. That's ideal. I want this pocket to be kind of a catch-all. and you would have to hit it way too hard to get it to go over the green and back into this area, or if you hit it left. But I mean, obviously this is in perfect conditions with no wind, so when there's wind and anybody's out there playing it, it's going to be different all the time. So I shouldn't be caught up too much in the details here. I think I do want to lower this a bit and then be able to use this as a bit of a backstop. Right now, this kind of looks like it's just rolling off, but you know what? I'm okay with it for now. I'm okay with it for the first episode of dealing with this hole. We will get into more of the details in the next episode. As it is, I think I'm pretty happy with the progress we've made. We've got a lot of the bare bones laid down. You can see the tree line is looking really good. I think it really helped frame the hole to get some of that really empty nothingness out of there. And once we did that, I think this hole's really come together. Yeah, one quick thing before I leave. I want to thank George Bryan again of the Bryan Bros YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out that channel, you should definitely go look at what he's done over there. He's done a lot of fun things, a lot of fun videos, playing with different people. His brother Wesley's obviously on the PGA Tour, so he's got a lot of interesting content dealing with a PGA Tour pro. Yeah, definitely go check him out. I appreciate everybody he sent over to my channel, so if any of you are watching me and want to go watch him, you should definitely do it. I'll leave a link in the description of this channel, or of this video rather. And yeah, that'll do it for me today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw today, make sure you subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, have a great day, everyone.